She has no business acumen. If you look at like the really successful housewives like Kyle, they know when to not talk about shit in a different setting. So Kelly's never going to be back on NBC. Teresa going to the Traitors house. So they're both begging to be on the Traitors, basically. And Teresa is implying Louis, yet like a month or two ago, said something on his Instagram. Stay tuned. You're going to be seeing my wife very soon. And she's leaving the country. So Louis is certainly like implying that. Teresa's now basically implying that. So is Teresa cast on the Traitors? No. Could she be? She could. It's possible. So you better be careful, Teresa, hanging out with Kelly and doing a video with Kelly to say you want to be on the Traitors because Kelly will never be back on Bravo girl or NBC. Girl, you have a chance, Teresa, and you need the money. You probably get 250 grand if you go to the Traitors. Everyone thinks I want to tear down Teresa. When she lies like a fucking pea brain animal over the weekend, like she did, I will call her out. Short of that, I don't like to kick someone when they're desperate for money and they're down. So my advice to Teresa is stop posting videos about being cast on a show with Kelly Dodd because that ain't going to help your fucking case, girl. You actually have a chance. Do I think she might be going to the Traitors house next season? Yeah, I do. I mean, it makes sense. She's still a name. I don't think they want her for New Jersey. Look, they don't want her life story with New Jersey about owing $3 million in tax and Louis and private investigators. That's too messy, but none of that will come out on the Traitors. So I do think she might be going to the Traitors. So I think Louis, and they started hinting at this right after the people won. I just want to give you one more piece of advice before we move on, Teresa. Stop talking about going to the Traitors. There's NDAs. You're going to go from being cast on the fucking show with your husband's big mouth and your big mouth, and they're going to call you and say, you're not going. They can change their mind at any time. Don't go leaking the information, Giudice, because they will pull you from the thing. Remember when Lindsay Hubbard was going to go and then she was pregnant? It takes 2 seconds to get a last, not saying Lindsay was pulled for that reason. She was pregnant. We can't have a pregnant woman in the Traitors house. It just doesn't work. So my point is they can replace you in 1 second with their B or C list, Teresa. So my advice is stop talking about wanting to be on certain TV shows when you're in the presence of Kelly Dodd and stop leaking your mouth. That's actually nice advice to this animal. So you're in need of money, and here you are. Don't ruin it for yourself. RHOBH, I have heard the crazy, and people are double and tripling down on this crazy casting news. Crazy that people are convinced. We talked about this a little bit on the live show, but I haven't brought this up. People are saying from reliable sources that it is confirmed that one cast member is being fired, one cast member is being demoted, and a friend of is also being fired. Now, let's break down what that could mean. Do I think that's true? Not necessarily. Could I see that? Sure. I really still think that they can make very little changes. I really do. It's not really broke. It was a boring season. You need more people. Garcelle leaving opens up, I think, 2 spots. They had 6 permanent and 2 friends of. That's a total of 8. We had seasons of Beverly Hills. I think Kathy's first season. We had 10 people, 8 regulars and 2 friends up. So it is possible. Garcelle leaving brings us to a total of 7. If we don't fire anyone else, I think we need to bring in at least 2 people. At least. Maybe 3, and maybe we'll have 10 again. 10 is too much for me. But if this crazy rumor is true, one person is fired, one is demoted, and a friend of is leaving. The only thing that makes sense to me, look, I know you guys hate her, but we're not getting rid of Kyle. It's like all those years with Teresa. One day we might be talking about getting rid of Kyle, like Teresa has a real chance now of leaving. But Kyle's not going anywhere. Dorit just gave us the season of her life, and now she's about to go through a divorce with PK. And it's going to be nasty. So she's not going anywhere. And Bo's just got there. I know a lot of you think her corporate experience doesn't translate to Housewives. I agree. I know a lot of you don't like her anymore since the whole Garcelle thing. It doesn't matter. Bo's just got there. And it's always, you have to remember this. The unknown, if someone has unknown and we don't yet know who they are, and they had a good first, second, third season, and there's more there, they don't get fired. That's why I thought Crystal should have stayed, but that's just me. But anyway, Bose, there's so much we haven't even got under the surface of the car. By the way, Bose and Kyle are texting, so that's interesting. But I think that that even supports my theory. So Kyle isn't going anywhere. Dorit is about to have a bloody divorce. She's not going anywhere. And Bose is new. So if this is true, somebody's fired, somebody's demoted, and a friend of is leaving, is also fired. The only thing that makes sense to me is that Erica is the person fired, Sutton is the person downgraded, and Jennifer Tilly, the friend of, is leaving. Erica, we've heard these rumors that she may not be coming back. I still don't know if they're true, but that last scene with Tom Girardi is it just I can't get that out of my head. We stopped filming and we had 6 months later or 5 weeks later, we did the closure of Erica's story and Tom being sentenced. Do you understand what that means? Erica's overarching 9, 10 years on the show is Mr. Girardi's takedown. That was that is it. That is what her existence has become. She offers more. I get it, but that's the big story, like Teresa and the brother. So for them to have this thing, what a way to wrap this up. Today was Tom's sentencing. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. And they picked cameras back up 3 weeks later. I can't get that out of my head. So to me, if someone's fired, it's Erica. If someone is downgraded by process of elimination, it has to be Sutton. I mean, I like Sutton, but think about it. She has the wealth. She really does contribute a lot. She does. But what do we have for a storyline? Avi, who may not even be working for you anymore, a horse named Santos. There's not, if you think about it, a personal storyline that's really there for Sutton. So I don't know if this could happen, but if this crazy casting rumor is true, which people are swearing by, Sutton has to be the one downgraded. And with Sutton downgraded, I mean, Jennifer Tilly was brought on to support Sutton because she didn't really have a lot of allies except for Garcelle. You don't need a friend of to support another friend of because there's no storyline if you're a friend of. You just pop in and give little one-liners and get into fights. Sutton could contribute. Sutton could contribute a lot as a friend of, but we no longer need Jennifer Tilly. We don't need her to support Sutton at that point because a friend of doesn't need to support another friend of. So if that rumor is true that somebody is fired, it's Erica. If somebody is downgraded, it's Sutton. And if a friend of is gone, it's Jennifer Tilly because she no longer has any ties to the cast except a friend of. And we're not going to have a friend of to be a friend of another friend of. But we're going to have Kathy Hilton, well, because she's the sister of the main star of the damn show. Crazy casting rumors. I don't know if it's true. TBD. We haven't addressed that. It's been out there for a while. PK, let's find out the truth about PK's new woman, Shayna Wall, who may or may not really be his new woman. But did you hear this? We haven't addressed this. She was at PK and Dorit's wedding all those years ago. So the interesting thing is, PK was in